Hey guys, how is everyone doing? I know I am a booktuber, as it were, or trying to become a booktuber, but I cannot resist talking about one of the favorite things in my life at the moment. I love Game of Thrones. I definitely love reading the series, The Song of Ice and Fire, but I also really enjoy the series. And every morning every morning over breakfast, before I walk my dog and get into my day, I sit down at YouTube and I watch YouTube videos from my favorite booktubers and my people that just talk about Game of Thrones. Theories, analyses, reviews, the whole thing. I just spent my entire morning with books and Game of Thrones. So I can't really resist combining the two on my channel. So let me tell you what the point is of this series. I wanted to start at the very beginning. I think it's very interesting to look back at the series with everything that we know now, all the decisions that the creators of the show have made, and everything we know about the characters and their storylines, and just look back at it and just go through the entire series with that in mind. Now, I want to at first point out that this series is about the TV series only, not about the books. So I'm not going to compare things from the series to the books. I'm going to look at the TV series only. Also want to say that I probably don't know as much about Game of Thrones as other people may do. And I do feel a little bit insecure, but I really want to share my love for Game of Thrones with you guys and talk about it. Talking about that, what I would really love for you guys to do is share all your opinions, all your thoughts, all your theories, everything in the comments below. I will respond to everyone, and I will also include them in the next video about the next video from the Looking Back series. And because this is why I do it, I want to have this discussion with all the fellow fans. In this series, I'm going to talk about every episode extensively, scene by scene, my thoughts on it, the feels it gave me, everything. We're going to cover every episode in 3 videos, just to make sure that the videos do not get too long and that we take our sweet time, and also that people can chip in by using the comments down below. So feel free to just throw in your thoughts and things I should cover, and everything you noticed and all the cool stuff, what you thought about the scenes, what you felt. Everything's welcome, everything will be used. I will also reply on all the comments. Now, before we start, suffice to say, this series, purely due to its nature, will contain a lot of spoilers. And I should also add that all the comments down below will most likely contain a lot of spoilers. So if you have not seen the episode we're covering, or episodes after that, do not watch, do not read the comments, just go to another video, another channel, and enjoy things over there, because there will be spoilers everywhere on this one. Just so you know. So here we go. Let us jump into episode 1 of season 1, the very beginning. It has been a while, hasn't it? Winter is coming. It took a while to get there, but winter is coming. So this episode started with 3 men in black, haha, venturing beyond a huge wall of ice. When I first saw this, my jaw dropped. I mean, come on. It looks amazing. It looks so totally awesome. Now, I was watching this episode with my father and my brother, who had never read the books before. And the look on their faces when they saw the wall was actually quite cool. I mean, it set the tone pretty well right from the get-go. I could see it on them. Like, they were sold. After seeing this, they were sold. They were very curious what that huge thing was doing there and where this was gonna go. And I was really excited. I mean, I was kind of almost jumping up and down. This was a very good start. So this very brave man is scouting through this very eerie forest and stumbles upon corpses. A lot of corpses. Like totally arranged in a kind of ritualistic kind of way. And this is kind of where I got confused about the whole White Walkers' intentions. The impression you get is that these White Walkers are some alien necromancers that just raise the dead and kill everyone else to add them to their armies and just kind of are about to swoop down from the north all the way down, just eradicating everything on their path. But of course we can't know what they want because they don't speak our language. You can actually hear it in the scene where they make this sound that is kind of like a whistling and crackling of ice combined or something. It's a very strange noise, and that is their language. That's them speaking. Also, it confuses me because they arrange these bodies in like a sort of like ritual like pattern, but you never really see that again in the show. But it did set the mood very, very well. Like, it totally set... I say totally too much. It gave you the message, something weird is going on here. These people did not just die. They were, like, slaughtered and arranged in this weird fashion. It's really drawing the attention. I mean, you can see it on the guy's face right there. I mean, this is a weird side. Like, these wildlings did not just slaughter each other and die in the snow. There's something going on here. The ranger runs and goes to tell his friends that, you know, what he saw is very, very, very strange, and he's worried, he's scared. I was just face palming throughout the scene. It's like something odd is going on. There are people dead, they're like arranged. They go look, like, obviously the guy, the pompous guy, I forgot his name though. But the pompous guy kind of wants a proof, wants to see it for himself. They go to show them, and the dead bodies that were all scattered in this ritualistic manner are gone. They're just gone. I mean, that would have set off some alarms with me, but no, he just wants to find, you know, frustrating fellow. He died for it. You know, you cannot be safe enough in this series. Like, people die when they drop their guard. The world of Game of Thrones is a very dangerous place, suffice to say. So, off they go, being chased by these White Walkers, being killed. But this is where it gets kind of interesting, in my opinion. Because the White Walkers let one of the Rangers go, it seems. Here he is staring at his friend, who gets beheaded by the White Walker, and the White Walker just looks at him. And you don't see anything else, but obviously we now know that he comes back and gets beheaded as a deserter, which is kind of ironic actually, come to think of it. But White Walkers seem to keep people alive sometimes. They also later in the series keep Sam alive. My question then is, do they do this on purpose? Is there more to their plan than just swoop around killing everyone? The guy that survives the White Walker attack ends up being captured by Stark men, or at least Northern men, and is held into custody. He's a deserter of the Night's Watch, so that is punishable by death. And the person to dole out this justice is in Winterfell. Means we get a look at Winterfell. Our first look at Winterfell. This was it. And it looks amazing. First you get this epic shot of the wall, and then you get this epic shot of Winterfell. I, at this point, watching this for the first time, was completely... well, I can't describe it. The feels were real. I was like, oh my god, here we go. This was really, really cool. We get to meet the Stark children are 6 or 5.5, depends on how you look at it. And all their character traits are shown really, really well in just a couple of seconds. I mean, I think that the character introductions are really, really well done. You get an instant feel for them. I want to take this moment to kind of tell you guys what I feel about the Stark children, what my opinion is on them, and it may kind of surprise you, or it may not. But in any case, these are my opinions, don't get mad. I really like Rob, although I think he has got the same flaws as his father, and I think that kind of got him killed in the end. But he's a really likable guy. I love his relationship with John, and even how the way he treats Theon. It's very cool. Yeah, he's a cool guy. Then there is Bran. I'm not sure about Bran, but then again, I don't dislike him either. I'm kind of neutral about Bran Stark. I do like his story arc. I would love to hear your thoughts on Bran, if you have any opinions on that, or can enlighten me, give me some insight. Please leave a comment down below, because I'd love to get some more angles to look at this. Arya, I like Arya. She makes me laugh. She has really good lines. She is constantly getting into things. I kind of like her at this point in the series. When she gets older, I find it quite painful to watch how bitter she gets. I mean, I get it. She's going through, man, I get it. I don't really enjoy watching that, although eventually when she pairs up with a certain character, I mean, her dialogue's really amazing. I really like it. And obviously where she ends up in the end, where we are now, that is really, really, really cool. But I'm not really blown away by Arya. I mean, I love her tomboyishness and her like quick thinking, and you know, the whole staying true to yourself thing is quite evident in her, and I can appreciate that. Rickon is very young. He's very, very young. He's cute. He's sometimes annoying, like young children can be. What can I say? I am dying to see an older Rickon. Like, please, please give us a grown-up Rickon, because I am extremely curious how he turned out. Now here's the thing. Sansa. Sansa Stark is one of my favorite characters. I really like her. And that is an opinion that is not very often shared. So I can go on for a long time why I like Sansa that much, but let's not, because I want to keep this these videos digestible. If you guys really want to know my very elaborate thoughts on Sansa Stark, let me know in the comments below. I'll make a separate video. But she is one of my top 3 characters. I really like her. Even all the way up till now. She still is. She's remained that throughout the whole series, and she still is. And then there's Jon Snow, of course. Our Jon Snow. He is a complicated character for me. I like some things about him very much. I really dislike some things about him very much. He has never been a favorite, but I have always liked him. I would have immediately bumped him up to my all-time favorite character if he had taken Stannis Baratheon's offer. For you guys who watched the series all the way up to where we are now, you know what I mean? I mean, I would have been Jon Stark all the way. He is a lot like his alleged father. A lot. It is a very cool character. His plotline is, like his story is very awesome. I enjoy all Jon Snow's scenes, but he's not my favorite character. All the scenes in which you kind of get to know the Starks are amazingly done. I love the details, especially the interactions that don't have words. The look that Catelyn and Jon share, Rickon in the background picking up arrows with Robb Stark. It's just everything, everything. Arya shooting that arrow perfectly while Bran was struggling. I think the introductions of the Starks were done superbly. I really enjoy these scenes. And again, they make me miss the Starks. That's what they do. Poor Starks. Eddard Stark continues to grab his boys, get Theon, Jon Snow, Bran, Robb, meets the deserter, and is ready to pass the sentence on this guy. He swore an oath. This is what he has to do. He who passes the sentence must swing the sword. That is a very defining moment of the character of Eddard Stark. That very much told me this is who Eddard Stark is. He makes Bran watch, much to the well, Caitlin does not really like this because she thinks that Ten is too young to witness these things. But Bran is a Stark. He needs to learn these things. And so, as Ned very Stark-like says, he won't be a boy forever, and winter is coming. That is very true indeed. On their way back from the execution, the Starks find a dead direwolf. Now that's a big deal because direwolves are never seen south of the wall. So what is it doing there? But it died. It got wounded and it died. It has a couple of pups there. Now Eddard Stark wants to kill the pups to kind of save them from a lot of suffering and starving to death. But Jon Snow intervenes. I think mostly because Bran gets upset, and also he sees this. There are 5 pups, and Eddard Stark has 5 children. This kind of gave me reason to believe that superstition is a thing in this world. But then again, I guess that's rightfully so, because later in the series we find out that it's not only superstition, magic actually exists. You know, prophecies, glamoring, fire, the whole thing, the whole package, shadow babies, crazy stuff, dragons. But it starts very small. It starts with the coincidence of this direwolf having 5 pups, and as they later discover, a 6th one that is very different from the other 5. I was actually cringing when Theon went in and wanted to kill that puppy. I mean, but I don't know. I have a dog myself. Can't really watch that kind of stuff. So it was cool though. It was cool though. It gave me the feels, made me happy that they kept the puppies. I was really curious to see them grow up and turn into full direwolves. Very, very cool. After trudging around in the snow for at least 17 minutes right now in the series, we switch location to somewhere way more south than Winterfell, and we go to King's Landing. And I'm gonna be honest with you, King's Landing is one of my favorite locations in the series. It looks amazing, and all this cool stuff is happening there, and I really love King's Landing. And it is here that we meet another big family in the Game of Thrones and get to see one of the events that triggers the whole story, pretty much. Jon Arryn, the Hand of the King, has died. That is the whole problem that sets off, well, at least the story of season 1. This guy died knowing something, and he died because he knew something. Probably. I'm not really clear on that at the moment. He could have died because he knew something, or he could have died because someone's playing the Game of Thrones in a very, very shady, roundabout way. You all know who I'm talking about. He's not introduced at this point yet. But, or maybe both. In any case, Jon Arryn is dead, the king needs a new hand, and 2 people are pretty worried. Our lovely Lannister twins. Oh man, oh man. if anyone invokes feels, not always pleasant in this series, it's the Lannisters. They're a very interesting family. I personally like Jaime. He has a lot of qualities that kind of redeem him. I'm very curious what he's gonna do now at where the series is at right now. I'm very curious about his storyline and how it's gonna progress. Yeah, I really didn't like him throughout a couple of seasons, but then I started. His personality his character started to grow on me. I just kind of warmed up to Jaime and just yeah, he's up there now, very close to a favorite character. Cersei, she is exasperating, if I say that word right. She's in the top of the characters that I love to hate. I don't like Cersei. I do feel empathy for her, and I do really get her, and she's one of those characters that is just, she's a really well developed character. Like, her defining thing is that she's a mother and she'll do anything. Like, ironically or symbolically, she is a lioness when it comes to her kids. I can really appreciate that, and I do understand where she's coming from, but the way she goes about things makes me facepalm so much, and she just lashes out all the time. I want to just shake that woman. All the other characters are shaking their heads at her. It's a very yeah, and the way she treats her youngest brother, can't stand it. Cannot stand it. That is one of the things that made me like Jaime from the get-go, is he is really cool with Tyrion. That's the one thing that made me go like, hey, I kind of like this guy. And then everything else just helped a bit. But he kind of acts like a douchebag a lot of the time too. But I get that as well. They have like the most dysfunctional family I've ever seen in a series. It's very crazy. I do like the Lannisters. I enjoy watching their scenes, but it's not. I would not want to meet them in real life. It's just put it that way. But again, this scene was very cool. They were talking about being worried that Jon Arryn knew something about a very twisted branch in their family tree. You know, they kind of hinted at it, making the viewers that don't know what they're on about quite curious. It's really well done. Again, gives a very cool introduction to the characters. And what, in my opinion, was a very defining moment in Jaime Lannister's character development was that when Cersei said he should be the hand of the king, he said, that is an honor I could do without. He is a very realistic, level-headed guy. Very awesome. We've come to the end of the first video of this series. It's going to be a long haul. I hope you will all join me on this ride. My next video will be a book review that I'm gonna do for my booktube channel, but after that we're going to jump right back into episode 1, season 1, Winter is Coming. Thank you again for watching. See you around next time.